On a freezing January morning in 1961, a 43-year-old president stepped forward and spoke for just 20 minutes. Those 20 minutes would redefine leadership, reshape American identity, and echo through history for more than half a century. This is the story of John F. Kennedy's inauguration and why it became one of the most important moments of the 20th century. January 1961 was not a peaceful time. The Cold War was at its most dangerous point so far. The United States and the Soviet Union were locked in a nuclear standoff. The Cuban Revolution had just succeeded, and fear of global conflict shaped everyday life. This was the world John F. Kennedy inherited on January 20th, 1961, when he became the 35th President of the United States. He was young, he was inexperienced compared to his rivals, and many doubted whether he was ready. What followed would silence those doubts. The temperature in Washington, D.C. was below freezing. Snow from the night before still lined the streets as Kennedy stood on the steps of the U.S. Capitol. Millions listened on radio and television, some hopeful, others anxious. Kennedy knew this moment mattered. This wasn't just a transfer of power. It was a message to Americans, allies, and enemies alike. And then came the line, "Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country." The sentence instantly entered history. But what made the speech powerful wasn't just one line. It was the tone. Kennedy's address reframed citizenship. Instead of promising comfort or security, he called for sacrifice, service, and shared responsibility. He inspired allies without commanding them. In the middle of the Cold War, Kennedy chose unity over fear. Kennedy described his vision as the new frontier, a future built on science, civil rights, and global responsibility. Within months of his inauguration, this vision began turning into action. The Peace Corps was created. Space exploration accelerated. Civil rights discussions moved into the national spotlight. The inauguration speech wasn't symbolic. It was a policy roadmap. The speech was translated worldwide. In Europe, it reassured allies. In developing nations, it signaled partnership instead of dominance. In the Soviet Union, it was studied carefully. Kennedy made it clear the United States would compete, but not recklessly. Lead, but not alone. That balance would define the early 1960s. Today, Kennedy's presidency is often remembered as hopeful and unfinished. Just under 3 years later, he would be assassinated in Dallas, Texas. That reality gives the inauguration speech an added weight. It wasn't just the start of a presidency. It became a statement of values frozen in time, a promise of what America believed it could be. More than 60 years later, the speech is still quoted, studied, and referenced. Why? Because it asks a question every generation must answer. What do we owe each other? What does leadership really mean? And what are we willing to give for the future? January 20th, 1961 wasn't just a date, it was a turning point. History isn't always made through wars or revolutions. Sometimes it's made through words. If this story gave you a new perspective, like the video, comment what stood out to you most, and subscribe for weekly deep dives into the moments that shaped our world. Because history isn't past, it's still speaking.